there will be some new games announced in this showcase, and it's exciting to watch it live here on YouTube. Well, Matt, JD, Allegra, thanks for joining us. You guys are going to be with us afterwards. We're going to react to the press conference, see how Microsoft did, and then we're going to have some guests, some of the developers and some of the games featured in the show. We're going to have interviews with them, and Xbox's Aaron Greenberg will be joining us live to break down some of the news. So enjoy it. Watch it live here, the Xbox Games Showcase, an hour of games right here on YouTube.
I could not be more excited. This is like Xbox Christmas. Oh, look who it is. We can see you guys all in chat. We're so excited to watch this along with you. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to smash a massive like if you're excited for everything we're going to see today, including our first ever look at Halo Infinite gameplay. It's going to be absolutely insane. Here we go. Oh. Oh my.
I'm literally got chills already. It's been 2 seconds.
That is some serious drip.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's a lot of particles.
Exosuit is now complete.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
I'm thinking. Chat, what are we thinking?
Oh.
Even though this technology will save humanity in the war to come.
Am I dead already? I must be. I mean, this is a punishment, right? Yep, this is death. No! No! No, 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 no! This isn't happening. I'm going to have to make an emergency landing. Hold on, Chief. No, you! I can't stand this! Who you are?
Breathe.
No! You don't get to tell me what to do. You don't get to tell me anything. We're... Are you even listening?
I count 3 anti-aircraft cannons.
3 what?
You'll be safe here.
Oh, I'll be safe. Safe? I haven't been safe since I found you. I found you, remember? You were out there on your own, and you'd still be out there if it wasn't for me. I thought I was going home.
There won't be a home if we don't stop the Banished.
You keep saying that. We're outgunned, outnumbered. I know I saw condors over there. I'm going to dig through them and find one with the working slip space drive. And when you're done with this war, we'll get away from here. Far away.
Wait here.
Oh. Please. Let me see what I can find.
Cannons first. When I get back, we can look. Together.
Okay, big guy.
Your people are broken, scattered, hunted, defeated by me. I wish I could tell you it was difficult, but it wasn't. We are one step ahead, always. The ring is already under our control. Soon, the auditorium as well. The Harbinger and the Banished share the same goal. We fight together to honor the will of Atriox. But without challenge, I grew weary, lost, alone. Here you now stand. This is my last fight. A true test of legends. Our story will outlive us both. Set a fire in your heart, Spartan. Bare your fangs. Fight hard! Die well.
We hope you enjoyed your first look at Halo Infinite's campaign. I'm incredibly proud of the team at 343, and we're thrilled to share a hint of the epic battles that await you on the next chapter of Master Chief's journey. This is the most ambitious campaign we've ever created at 343. For the first time, players will have the freedom to explore a mysterious new Halo ring that's several times larger than our last two Halo games combined. Halo Infinite has been built from the ground up to take full advantage of Xbox Series X. Bigger battles, epic vistas, more complex visual effects, displayed with 10 times the processing power per pixel of Halo 5. This will be running at a flawless 60 frames per second and will allow us to bring the Halo ring to life in ways that have never been possible before. We look forward to sharing even more about Halo Infinite in the coming months, including the first look at multiplayer. And now, please enjoy a glimpse of what others in the Xbox Game Studios family have been working on.
World premiere.
Welcome everyone to the Xbox Game Showcase. Today, we're showing games from 9 of our 15 Xbox Game Studios, including unveils of 5 new first-party games. What you will see today is how Xbox Game Studios are harnessing their passions to bring their dreams to life. We believe that how you find and play your games is as important as the device you play them on. Xbox Game Pass is the best way to discover and play, and we want you to be able to experience as many great games as possible. So Game Pass members, you can play every game you see today from your subscription or free to play. These games will look and play best on Xbox Series X, delivering unmatched fidelity, performance, precision, and immersion. And we've designed the most consistently powerful next-generation console. And we've built state-of-the-art platform technology to allow every developer to realize their full vision. One studio that has always pushed the limits of our hardware is Turn 10. And they're early in development on the next Forza Motorsport. And Xbox Series X is bringing them closer to their dream of unprecedented realism with ray tracing and native 4K resolution, all at 60 frames per second. The trailer you're about to see was captured completely in-engine.
World premiere.
Our world has a rhythm. We all sense it. But only a few truly feel it. It is found in the smallest moments. In every step of a perilous journey. In the symmetry of ritual. In the bonds we share. And in moments of stillness. It teaches us to look beyond the expected. To be a light in dark places. To seek answers. And to stand watch over our world. Our world has a rhythm. We all sense it. But only a few truly feel it.
Everwild will give to you a magical and untamed natural world for you to explore and to just truly lose yourself in. It's a place to be eternal. And Eternal has the gift to sense and feel how magic flows through nature and connects every living thing. The team here at Rare are so excited to be working on something like Everwild, and I hope you're excited too. But I just want to take this opportunity to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone who's shown their support and love, and for the incredible, awesome, positive community that's already growing around this game. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Whoa, I just got hit with a flood of memories.
Love you, Mom.
You seeing what I'm seeing?
Mom?
Allison?
Yeah. It doesn't matter that they don't believe us.
We all believed that what happened that night was self-defense. But we couldn't be sure.
It doesn't matter that they kept us apart.
Brother, sister, we look out for each other.
It doesn't matter that finding the truth feels impossible.
We're all done with fairy tales.
The only thing that matters is you're my brother. And the only way to move forward is to keep looking back.
We've been getting these visions whenever we see or hear something really emotional. Everything we thought we knew about Marianne just got thrown out the window.
She loved you. She attacked you. We both saw it.
I thought coming here would be closing a chapter of our lives.
Nothing good comes from stirring up old memories.
We don't really have a choice about that.
There's always a choice, son.
I can't do this. Stop!
Hey everyone, my name is Gennady. I'm the co-founder and director of technology at Moon Studios. Today we're very excited to tell you that we're working on a very, very special version of Ori and the Will of the Wisps, specifically for Xbox Series X. We're now at a time where we can reach levels of fidelity and frame rates previously absolutely impossible on any console. An already gorgeous game like Ori can now run at 120 Hz refresh rate in full 4K HDR in its highest quality, delivering unprecedented game feel with silky smooth animation, super crisp, sharp image, and low input latency, which is just so important for the tight and precise platforming feel of this game. We can also boost the immersion in different spaces in our world by using premium audio tech that we previously just could not simulate in real time. And with all of this crazy hardware power, we can give our players more options with how they want to play our game. We can't wait for all of you to experience this very special version of Ori coming to Xbox Series X with smart delivery later this year.
From the furthest reaches of the universe comes the biggest mystery in the galaxy.
An abandoned research facility, and now shady corporate intrigue.
Marvel of the Gorgon asteroid. A sordid stopover, full of salacious secrets and scandalous strangers.
Greetings, attractive patron. You are looking downright unlawful today.
with the right kind of case.
They wanted us to develop a miracle drug.
Can put you on the wrong side of a gun. Or sword. Or this thing. Thrills. Danger. Intrigue.
A word of advice before you go, Captain? Trust no one.
What will you find on Gorgon?
This unit cannot bring you any drinks in its current state.
If you're waiting for the biggest game of the year, then wait for Cyberpunk. But if you're ready for the smallest, we've got you covered. From Obsidian Entertainment, the makers of games that are nothing like this one. This summer, strive together to thrive together. Or just feed your friend to the spiders and go solo.
At Obsidian, we're dedicated to pushing narrative and role-playing games. It's something we do every day when we come to the office, and we can't wait for you to play our next great adventure, Peril on Gorgon. It's the first of 2 planned story expansion packs for the Outer Worlds that we're putting together with our friends from the Private Division. Now, it's also important that we continue to evolve how we tell stories in games, and Grounded is the perfect example of that. The team has been working for the last 2 years on how to tell an Obsidian story within a survival game. Now, what's great is that you're going to be able to play the game on July 28th on Xbox Game Preview and on Steam Early Access. We want to hear from you, and we want to continue to build Grounded together. Oh yeah, if you've been wondering, we have been working on that next big Obsidian RPG. Check this out.
World premiere.
We have always known war. It forged our empire. Turned heroes into queens and kings. And decimated our foes. Now our oaths are lost, forsaken. And you must face the monsters our sins have borne. Is an oath worth the weight of a crown?
Avowed is an expansive first-person RPG set in the fantasy world of Eora. When Obsidian Entertainment joined Xbox Game Studios, they told us that this epic game is the one they want to make. As creators of critically acclaimed RPGs, this is Obsidian at their best, and it is being built from the ground up to take full advantage of the power of Xbox Series X. At Xbox Game Studios, we also work with independent developers, always with the goal of empowering them to bring their ideas to life. I'm excited to announce our work with Interior Night, a new studio led by some of the most talented storytellers in our industry. Let's meet Caroline Marshall, studio head of Interior Night, to debut their original game.
Bonjour, I'm Caroline from Interior Night. Our team is really passionate about interactive storytelling because when you play a story, you step into the character's shoes. You get to experience their fears, their hopes, their conflicts firsthand. And in the process, you learn more about yourself. And this is quite powerful. Our first game spans 30 years in the American Southwest. It's a story about family, resilience, and sacrifice. But most of all, it's about how you will shape the fate of real, flawed people trying to find their way in a world they don't fit in. I hope you enjoyed the trailer.
World premiere.
Fortune, fortune, smile and fade. I haven't seen you much of late. I need you now, I cannot wait. But when I look, you're not around.
We were on our way to start a new life that summer. For our family, it was just a stopover.
For mine, it was the end of the road.
On the ground, now!
The sun went down on all of us that day. Was it fate? Coincidence? No. It was a long-forgotten secret, buried in the dark.
All my life, I've been scared of the shadows. But now, I'm finally ready to step into the light. I got your letters.
Here at Ninja Theory, we're hard at work on all of our projects, including Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which we announced at the Game Awards back in December. An incredible 3.5 million players have now experienced Senua's story in Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. We're excited to start giving you an insight into what comes next for our Celtic Warrior, an experience that we'll be building in Unreal Engine 5 for Xbox Series X and PC. I'm happy to reveal today that Senua's Saga will be set in the beautiful country of Iceland. And you can find out more about our location scouting and how we've discovered the history of our setting in a brand new behind-the-scenes development diary, which you can view straight after the show on the Ninja Theory YouTube channel. It's been so touching to see the impact that Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice has had on so many players, and we're incredibly thankful to all of the fans that have been part of Senua's story so far. And we're excited for you to be part of our development journey from here on out.
Say hi to Peter. He's on the line
what?
here.
Peter, he's been sitting there the whole time? Hey, who wrote the song?
Peter.
Oh, Peter. Fantastic work. Love the song.
I want to live there. Very much.
It's going to be fun to sing it. Now it's time to rock. Shall we start rocking?
probably been a long time since you've had a visitor. I hope you don't mind pop-ins. Where are we?
Shh. It's a quiet place.
Lost alone, neither skin nor bone. Just a thought is all I've got. Now my cover's blown. At the bottom of a lake, a frozen feeling. When my friends pulled me back up, I started to this rhyme. I can smell the universe, and I can taste the sky, and I can see each molecule through my cosmic eye. Senses are the magic keys. They fill the holes I've had, unlocking all my memories, which I never
We can't wait for you to experience the amazing games built by Xbox Game Studios, and there is just so much more for you to play on Xbox. We are partnering with thousands of creators, from the largest publishers to the smallest independent developers, to bring you the broadest variety of games ever. There is one developer in particular that is close to us, not just geographically, but in history too. I'm thrilled to announce that this fall, our friends at Bungie will bring Destiny 2 to Xbox Series X and Xbox Game Pass. If you are one of the more than 10 million Game Pass subscribers, you also get access to all current Destiny 2 expansions starting this September. For Game Pass Ultimate members, Destiny 2 will also be playable on mobile from the cloud. Later this year, Bungie will also release a new version of Destiny 2 that is optimized for Xbox Series X. 4K resolution running at 60 frames per second. Here's an all-new look at Bungie's Destiny 2 Beyond Light.
I've seen terrible things born out in the darkness. Every moment brings them closer. It's time to step beyond the light.
Destiny 2 that you can play any way you want thanks to Xbox Game Pass. Some of the world's most inspired developers are working on games for Xbox Series X, and we're just honored to be able to collaborate with them. Xbox Series X will empower both new and experienced creators to bring the future of games to life like never before. Unique perspectives, unexpected innovations, and fresh voices that demand to be heard and that we can't wait for you to discover. All of the games you're about to see are being built to launch exclusively on Xbox consoles. Thanks and enjoy.
World premiere. World premiere.
My Lord Inquisitor, I've reached a term of prime and begun our investigations. Our recon squad has been sent into sub-level 6 of the Hive to determine the full extent of the unrest. I'll know more when they make it back. If they make it back.
World premiere.
Something changed, my heart could not contain the miracle of this world and all that it creates.
World premiere.
Approaching orbit. Scan's a no-go. Sure you want to drop here?
Oh yeah. Already lacing up my boots back here.
What we got? Another good-for-nothing space rock?
Whoa. Hold on, let me check.
Find anything good?
Vex, you're not gonna believe this. Ouch! What the?
It all starts with a dead girl. A forest. The moon. Scent of pines. And then the gunshot. Every story has two sides. A regular, rational one, but also a darker and deeper truth. Not unlike a nightmare. I can see both. Worse, I can live them.
Hello? Anyone there?
What is this place?
World premiere.
Luis Torres. I've seen your future. Global risk is scared of the weapon you will become.
Destiny chose me to save this world. And I will see it done.
Blacklist, we make our own path. We protect our own.
Can you protect me from fate?
Seconds.
We got company.
Soon, the entire world will burn, all because of him.
The ghost is here!
Today, you saw 10 world premieres and 22 console launch exclusives. Game Pass members can play every game you have seen today from Xbox Game Studios and all of our partners in the subscription or free to play. This is just a peek at some of the new titles coming to Xbox Series X. And some of the games you already love and some you have yet to play will also be optimized for Xbox Series X. Games like Forza Horizon 4, Gears 5, and Sea of Thieves. You'll get the next-gen upgrades at no additional cost when they launch. You can expect a lineup of over 100 titles for Xbox Series X this holiday season. With Series X and Game Pass, Xbox is the place to play, and you are at the center of everything we do. Now, you may have noticed we didn't get to visit all of our Xbox Game Studios today. That means we'll have more to share later this year. But until then, here's one more thing.
World premiere.
The world is filled with stories of legendary heroes and treacherous villains, of fantastical creatures and wondrous places where nature and magic live in perfect harmony. Not all stories have happy endings. But yours has yet to be written.
What's happening, friends? Welcome back. This is Xbox Showcase. There are Unlocked live show. There's so much to cover. That was a very, very busy hour. I'm Ryan McCaffrey. I'm joined once again by Miranda Sanchez, Brandon Tyrell, and Paris Lilly. Well, let's dive in. Let's start with the game everybody knew we were going to see, the big one, the signature launch title for the fall, Halo Infinite. Paris, I want to go your way first here.
You know, I've been anticipating this literally for 5 years, and obviously since the announcement a couple years ago that Infinite was coming. So to finally see it and to finally see that, yes, Halo is going open world, you see the exploration aspects that are going to be in the game. You know, there was speculation about this grapple shot that was coming. We saw that in action. We saw the variety of gunplay that you're going to have. You're clearly seeing that they're centering this campaign story around Master Chief, and now the Banished are coming in as an enemy. I'm very excited for this. This is what I wanted to see from 343. I wanted to see them obviously pay honor to the past of Halo, but also look ahead to the future at the same time. And I think they did that with this. I'm excited.
Yeah, you mentioned that cold open trailer was made. The very clear message there was you're Master Chief and not anyone else in this video game, which is what everybody wants to see. Brandon Tyrell, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, what do you say about it? It's exactly what we needed to see. I totally agree with Paris. I think they're paying sort of homage to the original Halo and kind of bringing it back to its roots. It did really feel like a more grounded, strangely self-contained kind of story, considering now it seems open world. That map interface was awesome and looked really expansive. I imagine there's going to be an emphasis on exploration. I also really love the comic relief that they added with the pilot. It's very clear that they're trying to inject this with a bunch of personality, which is, I think, something that can kind of get lost in the heady sort of hard sci-fi of Halo. And the last thing I'll say is I love the antagonist, the sort of the war chief of the Banished. The way he was speaking directly to you, the player, as Master Chief. I think a lot of games, it's a given that the Master Chief is just going to overcome all obstacles. And the note that he struck that I really liked was, I want you to be as strong as possible because it'll make it more interesting for me later on. Yes. I love everything it's putting down. That grappling hook was great. All the guns had an awesome pop. A lot to like here.
Well, his name, by the way, is War Chief Escharum, and I know that because Miranda Sanchez and I had a very unique privilege the other day of getting to see all of that early and sit down with a couple of the developers from 343 afterwards, including Chris Lee, the project lead studio head who you saw in the video there. So, Miranda, we learned a lot more about Halo, you and I, this week that wasn't covered in that gameplay video. So I want to toss to you here to sort of fill in some of those gaps that answer some of the questions that maybe people have after watching that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys want to read all of this, we do have four articles up that will go a little bit more in depth than I think we can here. But we really wanted to talk to them, specifically for me too, because I'm so much of like a guides person. I want to how far can we actually dig into this game? Like, what does open world mean for Halo? Like, that's... When you think about open world games that I think are really successful, they have a lot to do, right? And they're interesting. But how does that fit with Halo? Like, are we getting a bunch of side quests? Like, are there like a bunch of collectibles? Is this going in the vein of something else? And I think that they're going to find a way to make this unique to Halo. When I think about this, I keep looking back at Gears 5 and thinking about how well they did their kind of open world section. Mm-hmm. It's like still following a path, but there are different ways you can approach it, right? And so when we were talking to the developers, that's kind of the vibe that I got from this, that yes, you have, as we saw in the gameplay, you get these 3 objectives of these things that you can go tackle, and you get to choose how you go about doing that, not necessarily having to go from point A to point B to point C. And meanwhile, you might find some cool things along the way. If you see it right now, like with the map, there's that upgrade tab. That was a huge thing for me. I was like, what does that mean? There's obviously no experience bar, because that would be real weird. Like, this is an RPG, like, nor do we want it to be. And so what we were explained was that the upgrades are actually going to be more of the equipment system that Chief gets. So as we saw, the grapple shot, which is the official name for it, is an upgrade that Chief will find while exploring the ring. So like, you're going to find things that kind of augment his kit in different ways that are like on a cooldown timer. And I'm not too sure if those themselves will be upgraded through things like, oh, maybe you get like a cooldown reduction or something. I don't know if that's a thing. We're not entirely sure, and they didn't really want to go into it yet. And so I'm very excited to learn more about that because I'm really curious to see how much that's going to change the pace of the game. But as far as we saw in the gameplay trailer, I am pretty pleased to see that the upgrades didn't seem like they were too weird. If anything, they're like, we just wanted to look back at some of the best moments in Halo. Like, what are the things that we really love from the original games? And they said with the whole equipment system is, from Halo 3, and that they really wanted to bring that back. So like right now we see like the little drop shield popping out. And it's really cool to see them integrate that in a unique way with the open world. And then, of course, there's collectibles that we all know and love, like the crazy skulls. Like, right. I'm very excited to see how they're going to integrate those, or terminals. They didn't directly confirm that those are in the game, but I mean, if they're not there, then they're not serving the best parts of Halo. So I'm sure they absolutely will be.
Well, before I give my take, I actually wanted to stick with you here for a second, Miranda. The big question is, like, is it open world? How open world is it? You get a sense of it from the gameplay, but we did get a little bit more clarification from 343 on that.
Yes, so it is open world. It is still a linear story, though. So like there is still they always comes back to the story. Like this is Chief's story. They're not trying to make it like super crazy open in the fact they can do anything. I mean, I guess you could like choose the story how you want. Like that's not the point here. However, they do want you to be able to go and traverse the ring in the way you want to. So as we saw on that map, and like even just like looking at this gameplay here, like there's just a lot of gaps in the ring. Like as you can see, it kind of looks like it's being built or something, and or maybe like reconstructed. And you will be able to close those gaps through as the game progresses, which is going to be very interesting. And you will be able to go back or like around anywhere after you reach a certain point in the game. At any point, you can just go back wherever you want. So if you miss something, you can go back. They also kind of seem to allude to like, hey, maybe you find something cool, but you can't get there because you don't have the right equipment. So maybe sort of like that Metroid style of look at that cool thing, I'll come back later for it. So there is definitely an openness to it. And I'm, again, very curious to see how that actually plays out in this, like how interesting those activities will be outside of the campaign.
So you mentioned we've got 4 stories between the two of us, 2 from you, 2 from me, that go into a ton more detail. In fact, one of the things I talked to them about was about Infinite as a platform, how we shouldn't expect to see an Infinite 2. So please, after this show, go to IGN.com, check all that out. Now, of course, I don't want to move on from Halo yet. Since you and I did get to dig in and find out some more stuff, I'm curious, Brandon and Paris, did you guys have any were you left with questions after watching that?
I think you kind of answered one of them, that it will be kind of an upgradable equipment system in the game with Chief as you're exploring through the world. Like again, the grapple shot was an excellent example of that. So I would love to see more examples of the type of equipment that you'll find through the world. I would also like to see how discoverable is everything going to be, since it is now an open world. And I understand that the story will stay linear. Like I would equate that even to something like Destiny, where there's a story in it, but you can still go do side missions. You can do other things while you're working on the story. So that's kind of my question right now is the biggest one. When I drop into the Halo ring, can I just do whatever I want right away? Or am I kind of locked into the story elements before it opens up into the bigger world, I should say?
Brandon, how about you? You left with anything after that?
Yeah, my question is just sort of how does the open world enhance the experience? I mean, I think most people can agree Bungie and then 343 kind of really did a decent job at more than decent, I would say, at creating a through line through this story. So I'm curious how that pacing is going to be affected by the open world elements. The only other question that I had is all story stuff, and we're not going to know about it until the game's out. But Halo is a series of escalating stakes, right? Like things just keep getting more grave and more dire and worse and worse. And so the story seems very narrow in scope right now as far as Halo Chief and Master Chief and the Banished goes. I'm very curious where it uses that springboard to go in the story.
Well, I did ask them about story stuff, and they are being careful. They're basically, they are going to wrap up those loose ends from Halo 5, but it sounds like they are really trying to focus on starting to tell a new story. It is going to wrap up what has been the Forerunner saga. And yeah, for me, it did a great job of evoking Halo 1, which when Miranda and I talked to Paul Crocker and Chris Lee, that was a big thing for them. That was a big goal for the team. They want to evoke that feeling of first setting foot on the Halo ring in Halo Combat Evolved. So I also think 343 rocks at weapon audio. God, the weapons all sound so good. Really, really love that. And yeah, the grapple shot, that is going to be interesting in multiplayer. That is going to be interesting to see how people deal with that and sort of make it happen and do all sorts of cool tricks in multiplayer.
Yeah.
All right.
We did also see 5 new weapons in that, so.
Yes, cool. And those are actually detailed. You have details on those in one of your stories, Miranda.
Yes,
so
in the open world one, along with some other things like that you can't count the animals. You can only shoot them on accident.
Yeah, they're there for show and to be scared off, but occasionally also murdered, apparently. But all right, the Xbox Game Showcase wasn't just about Halo. We did get Fable at the end, which we're going to talk all about. So we're going to take a quick break. We've got lots more to talk about. And by the way, just a reminder, stick around later for tons of live panels and interviews from Comic-Con at Home right here on IGN coming up after this show. But for now, we'll be back to talk more Xbox right after this.
Unlocked Live is presented by CBS All Access. Stream the new series Star Trek Lower Decks starting August 6th. Visit cbs.com/Lower Decks to try 1 week free. And presented by the Army National Guard. To find out more about how the National Guard is delivering food, building hospitals, and working in our communities during the COVID pandemic, visit nationalguard.com/esports.
This year, Comic-Con at Home is streaming to you on IGN, and now you can watch it unfold on TikTok.
I love this show!
Celebrity interviews, epic trailers, cosplay, collectibles, and unforgettable moments from the biggest show in entertainment can now be crammed right into the palm of your hand. Check out IGN's TikTok for today's Comic-Con at Home challenge.
Whoa!
News, Games, and More is IGN's live news show every day of the week that covers all the day's news about games, movies, comics, and of course more. This is our daily live show that takes a rotating cast of IGN talent going over all the latest news of the day while taking live questions and comments from chat. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. See you there.
Hey there! Do you have opinions on games, movies, TV, or other weird stuff on the internet? You can take part in our new show, Power Ranking, where you can vote on all your favorite things on the internet. Do it now! Do it! Just go! Vote! Go vote!
The next generation of video gaming is on the horizon, and IGN is here to bring you the latest PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X news and analysis in our new weekly show, Next Gen Console Watch 2020. We'll bring on the experts to discuss and analyze all the latest developments around these new consoles. From frame rates, services, features, peripherals, and even all the new tech jargon, Next Gen Console Watch 2020 will keep you up to speed on everything leading up to the next generation of gaming. Join us every Friday for a new episode.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game. But what if you got the opportunity to peek into the minds of the developers while they watch their games getting completely wrecked? That's exactly what happens in every episode of Game Devs React to speedruns.
You can do that. Oh my god!
We invite you to ride along with the developers as they react to, question, and enjoy some of the most skilled players exploiting and speeding through a game it took years of their life to create. Join us every Saturday for a new episode.
And we are back. If you're just joining us, well, you're a little late for the Xbox Game Showcase. Go watch it on IGN's YouTube later. But you're just in time for our discussion of everything that happened. We just got done talking Halo, but there was a whole lot more than that. What a great hour that was. I want to go to our other favorite games, the non-Halo division. I'm gonna just take host privilege here, and I'm gonna start on this one because I am so happy that Fable got announced. I know a lot of people, it may not have been quite the surprise last thing because a lot of people thought, well, it's probably going to open Halo and close Fable. It did, but that did not diminish the joy that I got watching that Fable teaser. It was just a teaser, nothing in engine, no gameplay, but the point of that was to establish the tone for the new Fable. It is a reboot. It's not Fable 4, which I'm personally happy to see as a longtime Fable fan. And the thing about Fable that's part of its magic for me is that it's it's just got that Fable charm to it. There's that sense of humor, that sense of whimsy and wonder, that kind of medieval fantasy vibe, right down to the art style. And for me, we don't know what the game looks like yet from an engine graphics perspective. I expect it's going to be built off of Forza Horizon's open world, 4-season weather technology, which could be really, really interesting if that's the case. But the tone of it, there was the comedic moment with the frog swallowing the little fairy, and then just that look of that establishing that fantasy tone. So Fable for me, so stoked about that. And also, I would say, actually, I'm going to throw it to Brandon Tyrell because I know he's a big Obsidian fan, big RPG fan. I know what you're going to say, Brandon Tyrell.
Yes. Tell me why. No, Avowed, I think, is my it's something that I came away thinking, oh, that one got me. That stole the show for me. Look, Obsidian has an incredible pedigree. These guys know how to make a RPG. They definitely, have proven that they're capable of developing multiple games simultaneously. So I'm not at all worried about the development of this alongside Grounded and The Outer Wilds. This thing just it checked all my boxes, right? You've got the fantasy element. It looks very medieval or sort of that high fantasy vibe. It's got the dark crevices in the world, the unexplored places to go to. And it's got, that element of fantasy and magic and supernatural. We saw the skeleton mixed with sort of, like I said, that medieval combat style. The first person stuff is interesting to me. I've always had a love-hate relationship with first-person Melee, but I think, with Skyrim, we proved it's possible, and I'm really looking forward to the elevation of that. I can't wait for this. I'm so stoked for Avowed.
Yeah, I'm with you. That one, we kind of were, we knew Obsidian would be there, but we weren't sure if it would just be Grounded or if it would be the new project. Now, this is presumably, Brandon, from the Pillars of Eternity team. Because then you had the Outer Wilds team, which we saw DLC for, and the Grounded team. So this is the Pillars team, which it just looks great. Definitely some Skyrim vibes there. Right. Paris had said while we were all watching together, some Doctor Strange vibes on that with some of the way the spell casting and sort of etherealness of it. But Paris, how about you? What jumped out for you outside of Halo?
So I said it in the pre-show, and it actually holds up coming out of this, is Everwild. We actually got to see more of it. And while, again, like you were saying, while we're watching, I just had that Studio Ghibli Miyazaki feel to it. It looked gorgeous. I want to know more about this game. And that's what you want to get out of an early reveal, is get you excited to want to know more about it. So definitely looking forward to more of that. Psychonauts 2. Obviously, it's something we've talked about. Nice to see Jack Black, and it looks gorgeous. It looks great. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like something straight out of the mind of Tim Schafer. So I'm excited for that. But the other game I have to mention here is Forza. And it's not so much that we saw Forza and what it is. It's the fact that it's not coming at launch, and it seems like it's not coming anytime soon. That excites me more than anything, because it shows me that Turn 10 is taking their time and literally making the best Forza game they possibly can. They're not just trying to check a box and make sure that it's available at launch like we all thought. They're like, we're going to take our time, we're going to do this right, and they're going to make an amazing racing game.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm glad you hit on that, because there are such interesting ramifications just past the Forza announcement itself. It's a reboot. They're just starting over. So does that mean, I wonder if, like Halo Infinite, will Forza Motorsport just be a platform moving forward, and we won't get another Motorsport 2, a Motorsport 3? But I'm a big fan. I mean, I love Motorsport, but for me, don't tell Turn 10, but Playground, I think Forza Horizon is even better than Forza Motorsport is. So is this going to affect the future of Horizon? What is Horizon going to do? Is it going to reboot, or is it going to continue on? Those games are a little more, I guess, self-contained, because they each take place in a semi-fictional city. So I'm now left wondering what is going to happen with Horizon. But Miranda, let me go your way next.
Yeah, I guess one of the ones that I was pretty surprised by at the very early part of the show was State of Decay 3. It was just another little cinematic tease. We got a lot of those in the showcase, which is fine. I was not expecting that to be State of Decay 3 because it doesn't open like that sort of like, here comes a zombie horde masses and like it's all spooky. It's like, no, it's all very survival based, which State of Decay is, but like even more so compounding on, look at this crafting, look at this like one woman just surviving in the wild and, you know, literally yelling back at like something that is stalking her. And I think it was like a really cool tease for like what this game could evolve to be. I think it's always been such a fun game of like you recruiting everybody, then taking on the zombies and just kind of like building up your base and like taking over the little town. It's really cool clearing that out. But this feels like it's a lot more expansive. Obviously we get the snow, so that's pretty cool. So like maybe some more like weather implemented into it. And then also, of course, at the very end of this, like you're seeing the animal aspect of it. It's like, oh, we're gonna get zombie animals now? Hot damn, it's gonna be a lot. So like beyond just like the zombie enemies that we had before. So that was like a really nice thing to kick off the show and be like, hey, this is coming too. And I didn't think it was gonna be like that for a while. So that was a nice surprise. Like everybody else, Avowed was like a big standout for me. I never really connected with Skyrim. I am a Fallout person through and through. I love Fallout so much. And then when I went to Skyrim, I was just like, but why am I not playing Fallout? Because like, I guess like, because mechanically they're pretty similar, even though like the setting's so different. And so then when we did see Avowed, like that was a little bit more of like what I wanted to see from Skyrim, I guess. Even though we didn't really get a whole look at it, it's just like the tone of it, like just the way that everything was set up. It looked really cool. So I am super interested. And I know obviously Obsidian makes excellent RPGs. So I am super stoked for that. And then, of course, also Psychonauts 2, because I love hearing about that, though I am bummed we didn't get a release date. But I am super excited to see more of what that is going to be like, just a little bit more teasing for different levels. And then, of course, Fable as well, because I love skulls. And then you had a fairy. I was like, wow, this is my aesthetic. And then she gets eaten. And you're like, wow, even better.
Yeah, that Psychonauts 2 trailer, I mean, I was looking forward to that game, but that was a great trailer. That was a just absolutely phenomenal trailer. Although, fun fact, that might be the only game in the entire show that's coming to PlayStation 4. At least it had been scheduled for PS4. I don't know if that's changed since Microsoft acquired the studio, but in any case, it looks great. And then on State of Decay 3, yeah, with you guys. Now, interestingly, Brandon, you and I are big State of Decay fans, Miranda too, but the Class 4 was the original idea for the sequel to State of Decay way back when Undead Labs first drew it up. And the idea for that is it would be an MMORPG, like just a ton of players. And that trailer tonally was the opposite of an MMORPG. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, what sort of game State of Decay 3 is going to be. All right, we got to take another quick break, but there is lots more still to come, not just Xbox talk, but again, a full day of Comic-Con at home coverage. So don't move. We'll be right back.
Unlocked Live is presented by CBS All Access. Stream the new series Star Trek Lower Decks starting August 6th. Visit cbs.com/Lower Decks to try 1 week free. And presented by the Army National Guard. To find out more about how the National Guard is delivering food, building hospitals, and working in our communities during the COVID pandemic, visit nationalguard.com/esports.
This year, Comic-Con at Home is streaming to you on IGN, and now you can watch it unfold on TikTok.
I love this show!
Celebrity interviews, epic trailers, cosplay, collectibles, and unforgettable moments from the biggest show in entertainment can now be crammed right into the palm of your hand. Check out IGN's TikTok for today's Comic-Con at Home challenge.
Whoa!
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
News, Games, and More is IGN's live news show every day of the week that covers all the day's news about games, movies, comics, and of course more. This is our daily live show that takes a rotating cast of IGN talent, going over all the latest news of the day while taking live questions and comments from chat. We're live every Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us on youtube.com/IGN and twitch.tv/IGN. See you there.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
Welcome back once again to IGN's Unlocked post-show for the Xbox Game Showcase. The big event has come and gone. We are all very, very happy about it. In fact, really, when you kind of go back, we've been piecing through everything we just saw. And guys, we have, I think, a pretty good idea of what the launch lineup for the Series X is now. There are no doubt going to be some things added from here on out, but I'm going to just run you through the list, and then I want to get your reactions. So Halo Infinite, of course, the big one. That's the first launch title we ever knew of. And then the medium, Scorn, I know from Miranda's favorite genre, spooky, scary. Tetris Effect Connected, that was one of the new announcements today. It's Tetris Effect is on other platforms, but this version is new and exclusive to Xbox, and it is and by the way, I'm saying they're all holiday 2020 titles. Let's just go ahead and call them launch titles because they pretty well are. And then Gears Tactics will be coming to Series X. It's been out on PC since the end of April, but it will be a new game for console players. Miranda and I have both played a bunch of that. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, we know about that one. Watch Dogs Legion, the Ubisoft 1-2 combo there. Dirt 5, because as Paris was mentioning, no Forza Motorsport at launch. They are early on in development, and so Dirt 5 will be your hopefully super pretty racing game. We know that one's supporting 120 frames per second. And then on the sports front, you've got next-gen versions of NBA 2K21 and Madden NFL 21. And then Outriders from Square, they had said holiday as well. And then Observer System Redux and The Ascent, which we saw back at the May event. That's that sort of Judge Dredd meets Diablo action RPG. And then plus, that doesn't even include the updates that Matt Booty was talking about at the end of the show, the Series X optimizations to some of the older stuff like Forza Horizon 4 and Gears 5. So, Miranda, how are you feeling about this launch lineup this holiday?
You know, I actually really like the variety that we have here. We have like a lot of good things in between our Halo, because I know all of us are just going to prioritize Halo first. So we're going to play Halo. They can bounce between Tetris Effect to play for some multiplayer stuff. And then if for everyone who didn't get to play Gears Tactics yet, that's a great thing. Score in a medium. No thanks. Big pass. Gonna just say, oh wow, those exist. Not for me. I also like Yakuza Like a Dragon's gonna be on there as well. I'm very, very excited for that.
Oh yes, thank you. I left that off.
Yeah, that's one that I'm super excited for because it's just so tonally different. Like those games are so funny and just so varied in their gameplay, and I think that's gonna be an excellent one as well. And of course, then you have the big open worlds like Assassin's Creed Valhalla and then Watch Dogs Legion. So you're gonna have I mean, like, there's a lot there, and that's just so much to, I guess, like, ingest. And I'm very excited for this. And, of course, so much Game Pass.
Yeah, and Phil Spencer did an interview on our show, on Podcast Unlocked, pretty early on in the pandemic, the work from home. And he kind of alluded to that, to the launch lineup in the interview when I was asking him about, well, how many first-party games are you going to have? And he really kind of saying without saying implied there wouldn't be many because they want to have more of a steady flow of those first party games since all those go into Game Pass. And that's reflected here. This is, it's mostly third party stuff with Halo as your heavy hitter. Brandon, Tyrell, how do you feel about this launch lineup as we have sketched it out here?
I mean, I like the point you just brought up. It's you don't want to throw everything that you have, especially if it's not ready, right? I think Paris brought up a really good point with Forza in particular, which is, leave it in the oven for as long as it takes before you pull it out. Having said that, I think the launch lineup is fairly strong. I really want to echo what Miranda said as well. The diversity on display right now is great. You've got open world RPGs, you've got shooters, you've got spoopy games, you've got Scorn, whatever that is, and Tetris. I mean,
Body horror.
Body horror. The Giger lineup. You've literally got a game for just kind of every person, every type of person, every player. So that's great, right off the bat. But I think the one thing we didn't see outside of everything you've seen today as coming to Game Pass is the sort of elements that are going to be upgraded and evolved over time with the service. So keeping in mind, these are just the games that will be available at the launch, plus whatever else is on Game Pass as well. It's hard for me to think of a launch with more options to play in the past. So I think they're in a really, really strong spot as far as giving you reasons and offering things for you to play immediately as soon as you buy the console.
Vegas odds were very high that Miranda would be the first person to have a pet interrupt the broadcast. But no, it was not Miranda's cat this time. Paris Lily, how about you? We got a couple minutes left in this segment. How do you feel about the launch lineup here?
Well, my dog is very excited about the launch lineup, clearly. But no, I think it's very solid. I think, like Miranda alluded to earlier, it's very diverse. There's something there for everyone. I did see one omission of the launch lineup that kind of surprised me. Flight Simulator. It's not there.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, because we know it's coming out on a PC in August, but I just naturally assumed, kind of like Gears Tactics, they'd have it ready at the launch for the Series X. Right. But overall, it's good. Like you said, Ryan, Halo is the flagship. That's the heavy hitter. That's what's going to bring everyone to the Xbox at launch, for the Series X to be able to play. So overall, it's good, though. If you go back through the history of launch lineups, this is a pretty solid one. I think they did a good job.
And a lot of this, everything in the stream, of course, is coming to Game Pass day one, which we're going to talk about towards the end of the show here. But even a good number of these launch titles are Game Pass. So it's like they're really driving home the value of that subscription, which is pretty impressive. I mean, I will say, as far as the older stuff, I do want to dive back into Forza Horizon 4 at 4K 60 frames, because Horizon had always been 30 on this Xbox One generation, whereas Motorsport would prioritize and go 60. But it never stopped me from enjoying Forza Horizon. But my goodness, I cannot wait to see that thing running on that 4K TV behind me at 60 frames. So that's going to be super cool. All right, it is time for another quick break, but we'll be right back to keep the Xbox Games talk going. And later on, again, right after this broadcast, we're going to go straight into Comic-Con at home. IGN is your exclusive home for that. So stay tuned. We've got a whole lot more fun left to come right here on IGN.